When people think of gardening, they picture growing food to feed the family. Absolutely yes, I do that too. But honestly, that's only 20% of why I garden. I never set out to be a gardener. I started because I was desperate to heal. Through learning the laws of nature and how nature sustains life on Earth, I knew if I want to truly heal, I had to go back to nature. Living a busy city life then, gardening was an easy and logical option. So the other 80% of why I garden has nothing to do with food at all. It's about health, mental clarity, and the life-changing lessons that nature teaches me every single day. This garden became my healing ground, my quantum health clinic, and my greatest teacher. Let me show you what I mean. Last month, I spent 10 hours in a day planting my winter garden. But what you didn't know is, 2 days after, we got hit by Cyclone Tam. It was 150 kilometers per hour wind. It was intense. Plus, I never got to put the netting over those seedlings. And we tried to put one on in the middle of the cyclone with my husband. It was fun. Not. And lots of plants bent over and all the leaves and fruits stripped off, and some of them completely turned black because of the sea salt. But look at them now. Most of them bounced back. Time and time again, nature showed me incredible resilience. And sometimes we just need to trust it a little bit more. Let me give you a quick tour. Let's start from here. Those are more cumaras that I'm going to harvest next month. Give them a little bit more time to grow. And these are the cumaras that we eat the leaves only. And holy basil is still black, but you see new growths are coming up. And more greens and some rockets. And those are the lettuce I planted last month. And Chinese cabbage, look, so big. And forming the hearts. And used to be one over there, but didn't make it. More greens, more Chinese cabbages. And these are, maybe we can harvest some sprouting broccoli. Oh, we love them. Look, cauliflowers here. And these are the eggplants. You can tell it's pretty much bashed by the cyclone. And these are the peppers. Lots of them got taken out and new leaves are coming. It's quite healthy. The spinach and there's okras. It's end of the season. And more cauliflowers. Look, they are so much bigger than a month ago. It's amazing. And we had so much rain in the last few weeks, so they had a massive growth. Chives, leeks, and more kohlrabi and cabbages, more cauliflower. Look this beauty. Giant red mustard. It is so beautiful. And there are more Chinese cabbages. At the back over there, there's global artichokes. They're supposed to die down in winter, but look at them. They're still pretty luscious. Over there, there's still a tomato plant growing everywhere in the asparagus bed. Oh, this bird. And we got quite a few feijoas and lots of figs. The other side of the fig, we have some chocos forming. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And here, this is the main bed. The seedlings were tiny last month. Now look, they're massive. They're so healthy. There's a lemongrass over there. This is growing into a bush. And lots of turmeric. And they should be also die down soon. And here we have some broad beans the other side and celeries. Yeah, they're still growing really strong. And those are Chinese water spinach. I cut them off the ground, but now they came out again. Same as those cumaras. Those are the cumaras I used to grow the slips. I cut them off and then came back. And with some sweet peas over there and some kales. And this bed, on the other side we have a more Broad beans, one of our favorite winter vegetables. Those are the new varieties that you can eat them raw. It's supposed to be very, very sweet, so can't wait. These are beautiful Chinese red kales. I like this so much. It's so crunchy, and unlike the normal kales, they are quite chewy and bitter, but this is very fresh taste and it's really nice. We put it in the salad, just like that. A little bit spicy as well. A bit of potatoes and a beetroot. Most of them actually died during the cyclone. Few survived. I'm going to sow more. That's a very old parsley. And this is another bed of kumara and yam. I'm going to harvest this maybe in a couple of weeks because I planted those a little bit later than the other bed of kumaras. These are the brassicas I planted last month. We have some peppers over there. They lost most of the leaves, but we still have peppers. Amazing. That is a Brussels sprout from last year's cutting. I normally don't take the roots out. I'll see how it goes. And this is the strawberry bed. It's interesting, they haven't actually given out lots of runners yet, still producing strawberries. But because the sun is much weaker, they are not actually that sweet. It's a little bit sour. This is the bed of kumara that I harvested maybe 1.5 weeks ago. Some of them are really beautiful, but lots of them are really small. Next year, I'm going to plant them a little deeper because they don't like loose soil. On that high bed, I also have all the brassicas over there. You can see 5 red cabbages actually forming hearts, and there's so many more all the way to here. So we have lots of brassicas to eat. I hope everyone loves them. Quickly in the greenhouse, look at this massive daikon radish. There's more over there. I shouldn't plant them in the greenhouse, take up so much room. We still got some cucumbers, but they pretty much all finished. Look at this runner bean. How many beans are here? There's some tomatoes still growing. We've got lots of sweet peas there. And the basil still looking very luscious. And I just cut them off. Look, the new shoots coming. These are the fruit trees that need to be planted in the next month or so. And those are the kumaras. I might need to put it on the table. There's a box inside as well. And lastly, we still got some Malabar spinach and New Zealand spinach going over there. The rain made massive difference. They look so green and luscious. I'm very, very happy. That was a quick tour. If you notice anything that you think I should add to the collection, let me know in the comment. I'm always excited to expand my plant family, so thank you. Have you ever wondered why certain vegetables grow at certain times of year? Why do broccoli and cauliflower grow in winter while cucumbers and melons don't? It all comes down to light. In winter, the sun is much weaker with less UV and blue light, and plants are incredibly tuned to these light changes in the environment. Brassicas are low light tolerant, cold hardy, and full of fibers and compounds that support detoxification, which is exactly what you need in winter. But summer vegetables like berries, melons, and tomatoes, they require intense UV light to ripen and develop the simple sugar. So they grow when the sun is strongest. Their high water and sugar content actually help us cool down in the heat. You want to hear something more clever? You know the pumpkins, squashes, and kumaras? They require intense UV light to grow in summer, but they are harvested and consumed in winter. They provide complex carbs, the slow-burning fuel, which is perfect for cold and dark days when we need more energy to repair cells and stay warm. Nature is intelligent like that. Now, how is this relevant to our health and biology? You'll be surprised how similar we are as plants. In summer, our body can make more energy directly from the sunlight through melanin in our eyes and skin, and of course, our mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells. Melanin in our eyes and skin absorb sunlight and turn them into cellular energy directly without even going through mitochondria. At the same time, summer fruits and vegetables and berries are everywhere, rich in simple sugars and fiber, which is very easy for our mitochondria to process. So in summer, we actually don't need much energy-dense food like proteins and fats, because with these two mechanisms, we can make sufficient energy to power what we need to do. But in winter, the UV and blue light strengths drop off. We can't actually rely on sunlight to make the energy the same way. Our body actually rely more heavily on mitochondria to break down food that we eat to make energy. Now nature has already stopped producing the fruit and berries that are high in simple sugar. That's why local and seasonal food is so important, because the light in the local seasonal food is exactly matching the light we receive through our skin and eyes. Alignment creates harmony. But imagine you eat a tropical fruit, like a pineapple from Ecuador, in the middle of winter when it's cold and dark. The intense UV light buried in that pineapple is very different from the light you receive from the sun in your environment. So that's a light mismatch. What does that mean? Misalignment like this created chaos in our body, leading to inflammation, disrupted circadian rhythm, poor metabolism, and all other downstream effects. Because in nature, everything is connected to the three fundamental forces that sustain life: light, water, magnetism. When we live in alignment with nature, everything flows. If you have followed me for a while, you know I'm all about effortless gardening, because gardening is nature. Everything flows when we create the right conditions and just get out of the way. With ample sunlight, rich living soil, sufficient water, and a diversity of plants, which is what we've been cultivating over the past 2 years, the garden just grows itself with minimal effort. There's not much to do nowadays except for harvesting and planting some annuals that don't self-seed. The rest of the plants, they just grow themselves. When there's less work to do in the garden, there's more space to simply be, to observe, to receive, and to enjoy. And that brings me to the other 80% of why I garden. It's not just about food. It's about the frequency, the sunlight, the soil, the magnetism of the earth under my bare feet. This garden is more than a food source. It's a quantum health clinic. When I walk barefoot through the space, I'm not just grounding, picking up the free electrons from Earth. I'm connecting my body to the Earth's electromagnetic field, which resets my nerve system, balances my circadian rhythm, and brings my brain into coherence. It also gives you superpower. I spent 10 hours in the garden and my body didn't feel a thing the day after and the day after that, because I was being charged all that hours by the sun and the Mother Earth. Superpower. Personally, I think grounding is the most effective, underrated health hack that everybody should have in their daily routines. Drop a comment if you really do it. The soil holds more than nutrients. It holds the entire microbiome. When I'm breathed in that scent or touch the earth with my hands, I'm absorbing beneficial microbes that support my gut and brain health. The sunlight overhead isn't just warming me, it's programming my health. Morning sunlight through my eyes tunes my internal clock, sets the hormone rhythm, and tells every cell in my body what time it is. Without it, the cells won't know what to do. They simply go haywire. And when I'm here surrounded by plants, I'm also receiving oxygen from them that's critical for my health. And do you know that plants also reflect massive amount of infrared light back into my skin? the number one nutrient that heals and energizes my mitochondria. That's why gardening makes me feel calmer, happier, more energized, and alive. And that's not all. The garden is also the best school on earth. Every day it teaches me something wise, something extraordinary, and something new about patience, resilience, cycles, trust that helps me become a better version of myself every single day. If you're curious about the life-changing lessons nature has taught me so far, you can watch the video above. If there's anything resonate with you and sparks insight, drop in the comment and let me know. I would love to hear what would you add. So yes, I grow food, but really I garden to grow my house and life, to connect to the sunlight, the soil, and the magnetism of Mother Earth, and the truth that healing doesn't come from a bottle. It comes from the healing forces of nature and the power within ourselves. I have embraced these powers myself. I couldn't be happier with the life I'm living right now. So if you've been called to garden and grow your own food, maybe it's not just about food. Maybe it's about remembering who we truly are, that we are powerful beings, already given everything that we need to thrive. We are our best doctors, and nature is our greatest healthcare. If this speaks to something inside you, if you're on the journey to radiant health, deeper alignment, and effortless living through nature, I'm so grateful you are here. Please subscribe for more contents on quantum health, effortless living, and the life-changing wisdom of nature. Like, leave a comment, and share with someone you care about. Let's grow to glow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I got to show you this. Cyclone brought us some surprises. We used to have one cluster of bananas over there. Now we have three. One here, one over there, one skin. How resilient is nature? I'm totally in awe.